Hey everybody, welcome back to GWN. I'm Knock, your host. So I'm tinkering a little bit around with video and audio transitions and a little bit of audio background. I've actually got some of the sounds from the game in this one. We'll see how it ends up in the final recording after I get done with post. But I wanted to talk a little bit about a new attack strategy today, and specifically I am talking about PEKKA carts. Y'all know that I absolutely love my Super PEKKA that I got up to level 16. Well, guess what? I got cannon carts up to level 16 too, and this is what I'm doing. 4 camps of Super PEKKAs and 2 camps of cannon carts, and I gotta say, it is absolutely rocking it for me. I'm up around 5,100 trophies or so right now. I've been hanging up here for a while. I got some replays for you that I'm going to start running here in just a second or two, and really it's pretty straightforward the way that I'm running this. When I got to camp off in the corner like that one, I don't touch it at first. I focus everything down in the main base. I might snipe a couple of small things on the edges, but typically I'm going to break into the base using the Super PEKKAs and let the cannons run behind them as just kind of support troops, if you will. The Super PEKKAs will handle the tanking. They'll take all the heavy-duty fire and kind of barrel through some of the bigger defenses in the base, while the cannon carts hang back like you see right here and just shoot things that are shooting at the Super PEKKAs. The battle machine can come in and do cleanup, or in some of these replays you'll see he's right in the middle of it, taking down buildings just alongside of the Super PEKKAs. But the point is to get the Super PEKKA in there to actually begin to I guess kind of clear a path through the base. And as long as you can keep your cannon carts far enough behind the Super PEKKA and the battle machine, they'll survive up to the end. You'll have 2 or 3 left over, and you'll work your way through most of the base, most of the defenses. There might be 1 or 2 left at the very back end of it, but that's not that big of a deal. I've got 4 replays where I use this, and all 4 of them came out the same way. I'll be tinkering around with the cannon carts a little bit more over the course of the next several days. Everybody was telling me that does ground attacks, Knock, you got to get your PEKKAs, or you got to get your cannon carts to level 16, because with that extra cart in the camp, it is such a beast of an attack. And I'll tell you, they're right. It really is. For those of you who are doing the ground, definitely cannon carts starting it off, that is the way to go. Here's another replay coming in from the bottom this time. Once again, it's the same standard attack that I've used with mass Super PEKKAs. You find an opening, you begin to bring them in. I don't like spreading them too thin. I don't want them to clump up, because they will do that to a degree, because then, you know, 1 splash damage hits all of them. But if you spread them too thin, what happens is you lose your tanking power very early on for your cannon carts. And then you start losing cannon carts, and of course your attack just fizzles. As I've worked on this attack, what I have found are there are certain things you have to avoid, things you have to watch out for. First and foremost, you don't spread your CCs out enough. If the cannon carts are all clumped together, just like with the Super PEKKAs, they're going to fall victim to any splash damage. A giant cannon, a cannonball going through, it'll go through a whole big group of them. Not good. You have to spread them out. But at the same extent, you can't spread them out too thin. If you spread them too much around the base, then they're very easy to pick off. And while I guess you could kind of call it zones of defense, or focusing on the 4 Super PEKKAs, there are other defenses that are outside of that will take down your cannon carts as well. So nice way to say it, I guess. You can't spread them too thin, you can't spread them out too much. So half one way, half the other, kind of find your way in the middle. You also can't drop them too fast. And some of these you'll see that I do drop them pretty quick, but there's always a pause. And I like to hold one back just to kind of see how the other 5 are going to spread out, where they're going to go. Then I can drop the last one and let it kind of go in and do its thing. This base here is a pretty common base up around 5,000 and higher, and I've been able to 3-star it pretty consistently using this attack strategy. And where I didn't 3-star, I 2-starred. A lot of these attacks that I've done tonight have been anywhere from, I don't know, say 80-85% and up 2 stars. I've gotten a few really high 3 stars where I just couldn't quite get to the builder hall. I got close, but I just missed it. Ended up with like a it was like a 96% 1-star. Oh, it was a real heartbreaker. I won the battle, but it was still like a 96% 1-star. Other problems with this. If your cannon carts are too close to the Super PEKKAs, or if they're following in a direct line as the Super PEKKAs approach the giant cannon, they're either going to get hit with splash damage or they're going to get hit by the cannonballs that plows through the Super PEKKAs. So again, spread them out, but not too thin, not too much, but spread them out a little bit so they're not right there on top of or right behind the Super PEKKAs. Probably the biggest death knell to this entire attack strategy is when your tanks go down. If you lose your tanks, whether it's the battle machine losing its mind and going off on walkabout or something, or it's a case of the Super PEKKA's going down too soon because of a particular concentration of firepower that hits them. Doesn't matter which the case may be. If you lose those tanks, your cannon carts they're goners. They don't last very long. You'll find this same concept in with some of the other strategies, like for example when you're doing things with night witches. They have to have some kind of a tank. So like say a Giant Witch, for example, the giants tank for the night witches who just continue to pummel everything with their bats and then their fireballs. But if you lose the giants, what happens to the night witches? They're gone in no time. Same thing with the cannon carts. If you lose the tanks, if you lose the Super PEKKA, if you lose the battle machine, in no time at all, boom, your cannon carts are down and you're done for. Typically, at the end of one of these attacks, I'll have anywhere from 1 to 3 cannon carts left over, and usually the battle machine. Every once in a while, he goes down a little bit early, and I end up with a couple, 3 cannon carts left over that finish the base off. But it's usually a pretty solid follow-up at the end of the attack. So that's the video for today. I just wanted to show you a few quick replays of PEKKA carts. Obviously, these are not max bases, but there's not a lot of them, even around 5,000 to 5,200. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking around till the very end of the video. Comments down below, questions down below. Catch me on the forums, catch me in email. Be sure to hit the like button if you're new. Hit subscribe and hit that bell. Thanks a lot for sticking around, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Take care and keep on clashing.